Hey there, fellow entrepreneurs. I'm Sue, and you've just stepped into Entrepreneurs Gone Wild. Every week, I'll introduce you to a friend of mine, a remarkable entrepreneur who's not just changing the world, but also harnessing a secret weapon, time outdoors. Together, we'll dive into their journey, unpack invaluable business advice, and discover why embracing the wild is not just good for the soul, but also a goldmine for inspiration and innovation. Ready to uncover the secret that's boosting bottom lines and fueling joy? Hit subscribe and join us in the wild. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm already going to tell you this is going to be a treat. This is going to be an amazing episode. I have my brand new friend, Selig, and this is so cool, but he's an accomplished entrepreneur, an author, a life coach. He's dedicated to helping people thrive in all aspects of their lives. He's the author of Thriving. Surprise, surprise. It's how to create a healthier, happier, and more prosperous life. This is a book that empowers readers to make positive choices and unlock their full potential. He's got an MBA from Stanford and experience in investment banking as well. Rand brings business acumen and personal development expertise together in his work. As the founder of the Selig Capital Group, Rand has managed complex projects and now guides others towards purposeful, happy, and healthy lives. Rand, welcome to Entrepreneurs Gone Wild. I'm really thrilled to have you here.
Sue, it's an absolute pleasure to be with you. I'm really looking forward to our sharing our conversation with your listeners.
Absolutely. Let's dive in. This is going to be a blast. First of all, guys, look at his background. You can see, this is an amazing thing. So we're going to talk about that in a moment too, but don't get too distracted by the trees. We've got some other stuff to cover first. Rand, tell us a little bit about who you serve and the problems that you help solve with them.
Well, my focus now is around the themes of thriving and showcasing a number of big issues that are in my book, themes in my book. I'm just continue to run my own firm that you mentioned, but I'm doing that sort of at the wisdom level. I'm sharing things that it might take me 2 hours to have a deep conversation rather than the 2 weeks. And coordinating with the lawyers and the accountants and of course the management team and the owners. So this has been a really great shift for me, and I'm delighted with it. I am serving people in all stages of life. I've talked to people in high schools all the way through to retirement homes and everything in between, because thriving is something that's not easy. It's not automatic. And even if you are in a place right now where that's going well for you, something could happen that would throw you off. And not just for today's bad weather. Something could really affect you, a transition of some sort. And so I'm dealing with people of all kinds of people. And it's a lot of fun. I must say I'm having a lot of fun with it.
That's so great. And so writing a book, is that something that you had wanted to do for a long time, or did you wake up one day and go, oh, hey, I think I'm going to write a book?
Well, I've done a tremendous amount of writing, but sort of in a business context, sort of white papers and that kind of stuff. But starting in high school, I started collecting articles and taking notes from books that I thought were particularly interesting and collecting quotes. And my book has a lot of quotes in it. People say they love the location of my quotes. It really amplifies the point I'm making. So I had this 4-foot-high stack of papers in my office. I would see it, whenever I looked over in the corner there. And I said, look, I know there's a couple of books in that stack, and there's a couple of books inside me. So starting now almost 5 years ago, I said, now's the time. Now's the time for me to really chew into that. And it took several months to chunk the 4-foot high pile into folders, which ultimately became the chapters of the book. And that's the story. I originally thought I'd be writing it as a kind of a legacy project for family and dear friends. And I wisely went to 3 people who've known me for a long time, friends who'd also written books. And I said, please review my manuscript. Tell me what you like about it, what you don't like, any constructive comments, be kind, and also tell me what's not there, what's missing.
Mm.
And they all came back and said basically the same thing. They said no. And I thought, oh,
No
it's like
way.
devastating. It's like a punch in the stomach. It's like, I'll throw this project away. And they said, no, you have to make this big. You have to get this out in as many hands as possible. You need to invest in this because this is so important. It's going to help so many people, and it's going to, put a smile on people's faces and give them a positive outlook in life. Please go forward.
Oh my goodness. Wow. That was a suspenseful moment though for you. Like, wait, what do you mean no?
Yeah. And the truth is, Sue, my family had less robust positive things to say about the book. I shared the manuscript with them, and they've been supportive, but my kids, for example, two really terrific kids. One's a doctor, one's a senior person at Microsoft. They've said, Dad, I've heard this stuff before. There's nothing new. And I said, I don't think that's true. You actually need to think about it, because who I was when you were growing up is a very different person than who I am today. And I think you'll see that in this book, and it'll give you a pause and a direction. It's a great compass for you to stick in your back pocket.
That's a very insightful thing. As we have adult kids, it is a very different relationship with them, and we've evolved. I mean, I assume everybody does, but that may not be correct. I don't know, but as we grow and then they grow into adults, and I know for me that the happiest thing with my kids was having this conversation that went along these lines, going, now that you're adults, we're all volunteers in this relationship. You're not required to come and do anything for or with me.
Yeah.
And I hope that you'll choose in, and they have, which has been just amazing. But leaving that door open for them either way.
Well, that's so well positioned, Sue. I'm very pleased to hear that. I think a lot of families, there are a lot of bad stories out there. I mean, bad to the point of no communication, no relationship, to okay, we'll go to that for Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever it is, but we're not really looking forward to it. Is there a way we can make it as short as possible? All those kinds of things. So the landscape's littered with all kinds of things. And I think part of it is because there's not a conversation about what is the relationship about. And there's not this invitation. You can come or not come. It's okay. Please do what will make you come with energy, with the happiness. And if this is not the right time or something, not a problem. I'm fine.
Yeah.
So what you said is good.
Yeah, I mean, having that freedom, it really, I think it loosens all the joints. It's nice. It doesn't feel this tight thing of obligation anymore. Now, for you, I would imagine, I mean, going from investment banking, and you're still doing, this is phenomenal, but you don't strike me as an investment banker. My image of this would always be very Wall Street and, kind of stressed out and, certainly not enjoying trees behind you and all this. Were you always like this, or has this been kind of an evolution for you?
Yeah, that's a great word for it, evolution. So when I finished business school, I went to the caverns of Wall Street, and I worked for 10 years with big firms. And along the way, I mean, very quickly, I realized, wow, I'm a different kind of cat than these people. I'm not all about money. I'm here to serve. I really want to work with companies and be this sort of fulcrum to get them the capital or the strategy, the financial plan to move forward. And I have the skills to do that. And it took me, to more than 10 years to figure out that rather than become a forest ranger, I did want to stay and be an investment banker, but on my terms, which meant starting my own firm, which is one of the great decisions I made. It's not for everybody. You have to have a lot of discipline. You have to be able to sort of say no to clients, and no, I need to stop. I need to go take care of myself. I need to refuel. I need to rest. Some people can't do that. I mean, I've turned down business when I had one client, and it would have been nice to have two, three, four. And I said, no, these are not the right people. So I don't want to do that. So I have very clear about the kind of client that where I could do the best work and create the relationship and communication that would make that transaction and then relationship meet their objectives. That's where I start. You know, let's talk about what your objectives are so that we're aligned about that, and then I can help you meet them.
That's incredible. You've had to display a lot of, personal leadership, of yourself, like you said, having that discipline. I would assume you didn't have, a firm all on your own. What was it like for you, creating a team that you also needed to lead?
Yeah, this is another wake up for me in those dozen years with the big firms, is that I'm a warrior and I'm willing to do a lot of the work. Yes, I need to leverage myself. There's a lot of administrative things that are important, but I created most importantly a set of informal partnerships. With other people who are really good at valuation or maybe a particular industry. And so I would be leading the charge. My clients never met anybody but me. They didn't meet the staff, they didn't meet any of these outside partners, but I had the benefit of all of that. And that was fun for me. It was informative. I understood something. Went through a learning curve much faster because of it. And it's a model I like. Collaboration is something I like to see more of in the business community. More partnerships, more ability to say, here's what we're good at, and here's something we're not as good as we'd like to be. So how are we going to move up the curve? Are we going to hire people? Are we going to train our internal team? Or are we going to go make nice with somebody else? And sometimes to make, create those relationships is a great answer.
That's really, and insightful. And for, again, I'm kind of blown away. I'm seeing I have so many preconceived notions about, what it might be to be. I think I watch too much, Wall Street type of thing.
Yeah.
Are you an anomaly? Is this
Well,
fairly common that there's that awakeness in your
Well,
industry?
no, I think I am very unusual in the way I've approached my company for over 3 decades. I don't think there's really much doubt about it. The way I come into a client relationship, my willingness to say no, to just not start off my radar is very good. I can quickly pick up whether this is going to be a relationship that's going to be a fruitful one and an enjoyable one, or whether it's going to be work and disappointment for me as well as, of course, my client. So that's been helpful. But the other part of it is I've taken care of myself along the way. I mean, it's very, very rare to have somebody who's worked this long in the investment banking world, which is intense. I mean, it's a ferocious business, and not have burnout, or just say I don't need the money anymore, so I'm going to throw it all away. And I've said no, I'm here to serve anyway. So the issues and what I can contribute isn't going away. So I just need to reshape that, and I reshaped it over time, industry wise or in other ways, and that was a big deal. I also said, look, and this was at the outset when I formed my own company. I said, this isn't going to all be about the company. It's going to be me with a series of other things. One, I want to live and work in the same town. I don't want to have the big commute. I want to be able to spend time with my kids growing up, reading, coming home as much as possible. If I was on an airplane flight or something, obviously I wasn't home that night, but to come home and read a book to them, put them to bed, have dinner with them as they got older, have adult conversations with them, to be in an environmental space, serving on companies, taking care of myself physically and resting, taking a day off every week. All these things are part of this recipe, which produced a successful business, but also a productive, happy person.
So great. It makes such a difference.
Yeah.
And that's got to be an incredible example, in a sense, not only for your team and for your children who are grown now, but also for your clients. It's got to be kind of eye-opening. I imagine your clients going, "Oh, you have no idea. Like, this is what my investment guy is like. Your guy is uptight and I'm angry and having a heart attack every other 5 minutes. No. I've got Rand. Rand is a whole different bird."
Well, I appreciate you saying that or observing that, Sue. Yeah, I mean, I don't do any marketing. It all comes from referrals, from prior clients, from, of course, law firms and accounting firms that I've worked with, because they get it. They get it very quickly, and it's a style and it's an approach, but it's also, and I bring in a personality. A very positive, I build the team. We're working on a complex transaction, the most important transaction of the CEO's career, of the owner's, career. And I say, we're going to meet these objectives. And along the way, we're going to enjoy the process. That's what we're going to do. And so, in a meeting, for example, I'll say, here's where we are. We have achieved this milestone. It's really important. I think we ought to take a moment and realize this is an important milestone. We're not finished, but it's a milestone. Let's just smile about that. And I want to particularly point out this person and what contribution they made. And this is a person who never got any light because, well, they got a certain amount of attention, but I was giving them attention in this big thing we're trying to do, the sale of the company or whatnot. And wow, talk about wanting to work harder.
Yeah, that's so motivating. I mean, that's an incredible, and that's, again, very unusual. Yeah. If you were advising somebody, 30 years ago, let's rewind, and you're advising yourself or advising somebody who's just coming up, what would you say would be like the biggest leadership trap that they should be aware of and avoid?
Well, I think that it's important to distinguish between leadership and management. And I talk about that. There's a whole chapter in my book about that. We use those terms interchangeably, but they are absolutely different things. Leadership has a lot to do with vision, with articulating the vision. And management is about getting the work done. So Stephen Covey, the great Stephen Covey, said, management is climbing the ladder for success, reaching goals. Leadership is making sure the ladder is on the right wall.
Oh, so good.
And so I realized actually in high school, I was the yearbook editor in chief of, it was a really big job at the high school, very old traditional high school. And I came in and said, okay, as editor in chief, here's my vision. Here's where we're going to have color for the very first time. We're going to make money. This never, ever happened for the yearbook, and so on. And we accomplished those things. So I realized that the leadership was really good, but the management, my section editors, at the end of the year said, good luck, goodbye. Because I was tough. I said, we've got a deadline and you haven't met it. Get with it. Don't come into my office, the yearbook office, and talk if you haven't done your work. This was just, wow. And so it was a big chance for me to say, wow, you need to get a lot better at your interpersonal skills, at your management style. Your leadership, continue to hone that and do that. That's always been the sweet spot for me, having the vision of what to do and being able to articulate it, and then create culture around that. But the management something, I think I'm a good manager now, but it's taken a long time, and it's a lot of internal work to be able to get to that point.
Sure. I mean, we grow into that. We don't come out of the womb going, hey, I'm great at everything, right? Wouldn't it be awesome? Well, maybe right. It would. The journey is kind of satisfying to go, wow, I've grown, being able to see that. Yeah. For you, looking back, I mean, so it sounds like you for sure had the entrepreneurial bug even back in, in high school. When do you think it hit and how did it show up for you?
Well, I'm a self-starter, and I have very high standards. Excellence is one of the big legacy items for me. I have courage. I'm willing to, as I used to say, live and die by the sword. So if I make a bad decision, that's on me. I'm willing to do all those are hallmarks of being an entrepreneur and being a successful entrepreneur. I mean, bravo for people who try and it doesn't work out. I think they need to say to themselves, let me look at this closely. Why did it not work out? Did I not have a skill set that I needed? Should I have brought somebody else to help me with that? Should I have paid for something else that I didn't pay for? Or is it just a bad idea? I didn't test it out. I didn't, make it feel quick enough,
Yeah.
And move on. So, there's a lot of elements there, but I like working hard. I used to, as the kids were growing up, say, work hard, play hard, work first.
Oh, that's good. I like that. That's amazing. For you, what's the next thing with this? Especially with the book. I'm picturing. I'm curious. And I should have researched this, but do you have a TED Talk yet? Because you. Really
Thank you, Sue. This year, well, so last year I had a huge amount of invitations to speak publicly, radio, TV interviews, and 60 or so podcasts. So that was a great platform. My speaking, my comfort in front of a group, or I'm envisioning, a lot of listeners here as part of your universe, and this has helped a lot. And so that was a platform for the next step. So now this year, I want to move up the food chain. I do want to do keynotes. I want to go into bigger and bigger podcasts, and I also would like to do a workshop. I can create one. My book is sort of created a little bit like a workshop because every so many pages there's not a big question. I say they're not rhetorical questions. The more you write down the answers and think about it, the more you're going to get out of this. But TED Talk is in that mix too. And I'm excited about these possibilities. I mean, what I'm trying to do is share a set of ideas. The path to getting underway with thriving is a possibility. And I think a lot of people have said your book is like a compass, and this is you. It's not your book, it's you. So get out there. Yeah. So I appreciate that.
I can see it already. You just have that presence of, I think it would be an amazing thing to see. You've accomplished so much, Rand. What is the big dream that's still out there that you're working toward now, that you can see kind of on the horizon, but it's not quite in focus yet?
Well, it's kind of, let me answer that in a couple of different ways. When you think about a company strategy, you think, well, if you're going to have a strategy, that's actually second or third order of events. You need to have the vision. You have to know what your values are, and you need to know what your purpose is. And purpose is, if it's a good company, it's going to be around a long time. The purpose is something that could last 50, 100 years. From there, you create a mission, which could be a 3-year, 5-year, 10-year kind of thing. Once the mission's finished, you create a new mission. So, where am I? This is an evolving thing. One of the things I talk about is it's really important, especially when you start hitting your 40s and 50s, but certainly all the way to the end. You need to have clear about your legacy. And then once you've written that down, I think there's no choice. You have to write this stuff down and then scribble and scratch out a word and change it or add a sentence or whatever you do. Doesn't have to be an opus magnum thing. It should be short and crisp. Then you can start living it and live it now. So it's not something, you're carving your name on hearts now while you're alive, not on the piece of marble on the tombstone when you're gone. So my legacy is a fourfold one, the one I'm trying to live now. It starts with excellence. which, since high school, this is what I've been all about, whether it's the work I do or the relationships I have. It's about purpose, having purpose. I wake up in the morning with not just the list of things I have to do, but rather the stuff I'm really excited about doing, engaging with people about, and being of service. And then there's being encouraging. I just, there's so many ways, whether it's in a relationship that is a deeper relationship, or something brand new, a person you may never see again, to be encouraging, to say, hey, you have a really nice smile, or hey, I think that's a really good color for you, or thanks so much for bringing a coffee. What's your name? Little ways of just connecting with people, and that leads to a way of living life, which, when I first started talking about this, I was afraid people say, you spend too much time in Northern California where all the fruits and nuts are. About being love. But being love is being kind and respectful, and performing acts of loving kindness to other people and to animals and to our dear, precious Mother Earth.
Absolutely. Well, I want to talk about that too, because entrepreneurs gone wild. So, and as listeners know, so many of us have heard hustle, work, 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 work. If you're not working, what are you doing? You can play later. All of that garbage, which I bought for 20 years almost. Was that ever you? And well, let me say, was that ever you?
I'm sure there were times when I was a little moved in that direction, but because fortunately I have well-educated, well-trained, I can hit the ground running. I'm able to think through problems. I'm a good problem solver. That I didn't do that. I also know what stress is about, and stress is not my friend. It can be very debilitating to me, not just like I'm feeling stressed out, but physical issues. So, I went through that in the early part of my career, and I said, I got to get away from that. And part of it's my attitude, and part of it's how I'm spending my time. And I gotta manage that, and I'm going to be on top of that, and I'm going to make the choices about that. So, I have been a runner since, I don't know, for 40 years. I've been a runner. I play tennis. I love hiking. I like going outdoors, Sue, because being outdoors is a place where it's my most spiritual self emerges. So, there's another chapter in my book talking about spirituality and religion. And I say, look, spirituality is indispensable. Religion is great if it works for you, because a lot of organized religion it does not work for people. And there are a lot of people in there, under age 40 who, when they check off a box, which are the majority, they say none. This is an increasingly common phenomenon around the world, actually. So, but spirituality to me boils down to having humility and being in awe. Now, when I say to myself, do I want to be more humble? The answer is yes, because that opens me up to listening more, to learning more, to being a lifelong learner. I want to do those things. So yes, I want to be humble. I've accomplished a lot of things. And so what? Where I'm going is much more important. What I'm doing, how I'm impacting the world around me, that's more important to me. And then being in awe. Oh my gosh. It doesn't take much for me to go outdoors and look at something, slow down, look at something and go, look at this. This is amazing. This is a miracle of sorts, this little bug. And how is this little bug able to do what it's doing, or that leaf, or the new flower? And it always puts a smile on my face. So, my gosh, how many benefits can I get by being outdoor in nature?
It's so true. It's just, I'm glad to meet another freaky person like you. We get it. Like, for you, I know for me, if I go outside, especially if I'm mowing, and now that we're on this retreat center property, there's 35 acres, doesn't all need mowing. There's probably 5 acres that I'll mow. And I purposely use a push mower, which is crazy. I'm sure if anybody driving by, they got to be like, what is she doing? I love it because my brain is like this factory. I almost have to stop every few feet and write something else down. It's constant how just the ideas pour in. Where are you when you're outside, when that happens for you, where it's just an incredible, creative machine happening for you?
Yeah, I would describe my experience a little differently than that. I don't take a piece of paper and a pencil with me. I don't have ear pods. I'm not listening to anything. People have asked me that many times. Well, is it okay for me to take a hike and listen to a podcast? And I sort of joke, well, if it's one of mine, yes. but in reality, I say yes, that's fine, but don't do it all the time. Sometimes stop, slow things down, take a look, stop, listen to the natural world, not the human part of the world. So figure out how much of the time you're going to be doing the podcast or something like that. So I'm not taking notes, and I'm sometimes I'm by myself. There's a fair amount of that, but there's also a fair amount of time where I'm either with my wife or with a friend, and we're having a great conversation. But I'll stop and say, okay, look at this. And they're in mid-thought, mid-sentence. I go, no, stop, look at this. And, they get used to that. And, but I said, well, you'll remember your thought. We'll come back to it. It'll all be good. So it's a way, I guess I'm confident enough that, and I have a good memory, that some of these things I can get home and jot the idea down. And so I think it's more of just a relaxing, smiling, just it's full appreciation and the gratitude, a lot of gratitude. I'm sort of checking in with my emotions, and gratitude is one, and being out in nature, just, wow, thank you.
It's an amazing thing, isn't it? It's the other thing that I've noticed, and we talked a little bit about this before we got rolling. I've noticed, so I'm 57 now. I've noticed that time feels like it speeds up, right? My son is 28 and he's noticing this. And I'm like, I hate to tell you, but it goes faster the longer you're here. I find, and I was shocked by this, but to find that being outside, it was like, it just slowed down. And you've had that experience too. What has that been like for you? Like, I know our entrepreneur brain can go really, really, really fast, a lot of time. And yet outside, it just slows down. In your brain, what does that feel like? What's that experience of having things just
slow down? Well, it's a very soothing, very happy feeling. Because I'm a very, very well organized. I plan, I write up a plan for the year, and then I distill that into the plan for the month, and I plan for the week, and I have a plan for the day. So any given day, I have a set of things I want to get done, and they're serving a mission. They're not just sort of filling my time with needless stuff, even if it's just relaxing and having soaking in the hot tub with my wife or having a conversation or something. It can be casual, doesn't have to be super purposeful, which is fine, and important. Not just fine, it's important to have that, because I think we need to have integration in our lives, which includes all of those things, all of who we are, the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, the financial, all of those ingredients that relationships, all these things pile up. And if we're doing a good job with them, it's kind of like a piece of fabric that's interwoven. And we know that if you have a piece of cloth or something and you pull out one thread, it can unravel a whole bunch of stuff. And that's what integration is all about. Balance is a very small part of that, because balance leads you to think of teeter-totter. And if I'm not doing this, then I am doing that, or vice versa. No. Integration gives you the chance to have a portfolio of goodies. And it's not the crazy spinning a plate and being freaked out that something in a plate's going to fall on the ground. No, integration is supporting all the pieces of it. So you get more energy. You get more sense of, when I put my head down on the pillow at night, wow, this has been a good day.
Such a great feeling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rand, I could talk with you forever. I hope that you'll come out to the retreat center, because I think we need some campfire time.
I'm looking forward to that, Sue. Let's count on that.
Definitely. Where can people find out more about you and your book and everything that you're about?
Well, certainly you can go to my book website, randselig.com. RAND, as in Sam, ELIG.com. Lots of good information there. You can go to the Amazon Authors Central page. Lots of additional information there. If you're picking up a copy of the book, you can of course check all that out. Lots of reviews. That's all good. You can also my primary social media platform is LinkedIn. And that, I think, does a good job of talking about, my focus now on thriving, but also the background with my company and other things in the LinkedIn page. So I look forward to hearing from people. On my book website, people can, there's one page that's Connect with Rand. So you can say, hey, I heard the podcast with you and Sue, and it was great, and I had this question, or I had this comment, or I'd love to invite you to speak with our group. It could be a book group, it could be a neighborhood thing, it could be something bigger. I'm very keen to be talking to people. This is really what my mission is, to engage with people about the themes of thriving.
I love this. I hope you'll come back. This is really fun. So
Let's do it.
Thank you so much for being the guest.
Thank you, Sue. You're a great host.
Thank you.